But
Shalom, call hello, Yahweh Shabbat Shabbat Shemakakadash, double honor to the apostles and other bishops of great millstone, even the others came before them to taught us the truth. Shalom and salutations, all the brothers are pushing order, the truth and its sincerity, the hopeful like Abraham, David, the brother elder Yahshua. Shalom and salutations to you all. Happy Hanukkah. This is a WW3 Daily Update, and whatever's going on right now, this is the only channel that it's on, so I'm going to just pop in there. U.S. airstrikes pound Syria. Really? Okay. Israel and Egypt, historic natural gas dealt. I don't know what that means, but let's jump in here and see what.
The physical caliphate was crushed in 2017, but that ideology is still inspiring far too many young Muslims to turn to jihad and kill people. So it's very important, I think, that the United States sent a message to the mothership today in Syria and struck ISIS there. Look, remember, folks, in the heyday of ISIS, 2013 to 2015, roughly, we had a pipeline, and I wrote a book about this. It's called ISIS Exposed. They had a pipeline, still on Amazon.com, by the way, and it still holds up in many ways, even though it was 2015 that I published it. There was a pipeline from Europe and the United States, yes, the United States, to Syria. Thousands, probably, of young jihadis, young Muslims, products of the mass Muslim migration that the West foolishly has allowed.
And guy just, Salaki, he just said that he's at the TPUSA thing. What does that say?
Turned around and they went back to the Middle East. They went to Syria and they joined ISIS. And many of them came back home. And I assure you, when they came back home, they didn't get a job at McDonald's. That hunger for jihad has not left them. So we've got a major problem here. And much of it is self-inflicted because the West seems hell-bent and very intent on committing cultural suicide. Now, I would say I've done a bunch of great interviews here at the America Fest, and I would say that America, under Trump, key distinction there, under Trump, is the last line of defense. Israel's the first line of defense for Western civilization. America is the last line of defense. If the light is extinguished here in America, the shadow completely falls upon the Western world. That's how weak and feckless Western leaders are now. How much they, again, are hell-bent on committing cultural suicide. And the barbarians are not just at the gates, they're inside the gates. Again, this was self-inflicted, thanks to the policies in countries like the UK, France, Germany, Australia, Canada, Belgium, Sweden,
the 10 toes,
and beyond. The UK is now the rape capital of Europe, and Sweden is number 2. Who'd have thunk it? 30 years ago, if you would have told me that, and told anyone that, you would say, you're crazy. This is the UK. This is Sweden. Well, these are the bitter fruits of mass Islamic migration, in which they migrated, but they did not assimilate. It's essentially an invasion. Some of it is legal, and much of it is illegal. And if you think they got the memo and they figured this out, just last week, Ursula von der Leyen, who's the head of the EU, and who's pretty much the face of woke European bureaucracy and socialism and globalism, she announced that Europe's answer to the mass migration problem is to let in more migration, but this time it'll be legal. Look, we won't let them come over on boats now. We'll bring them in legally. And maybe if we bring them in legally, they won't have to come over on boats.
What do you mean? Right after you blew up their fucking land and stole it and all the natural resources? Is that what you're talking about, you fucking piece of shit? Gotta deal with that real quick. Steckle neck, piece of shit. Yeah, you got immigrants coming in. What'd you do to their land? Why are they coming over here? Micah 2 and 2, they covet fields and seize them and houses and take them away. They oppress a man and his house, a man and his inheritance. When you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. You cheat a man of his property, stealing his family's inheritance. They covet fields and seize them, and houses and take them. They defraud people of their homes. They rob them of their inheritance. What did you just say, you fucking piece of shit devil? What did you say?
Much of it is illegal. And if you think they got the memo and they figured this out, just last week, Ursula von der Leyen, who's the head of the EU and who's pretty much the face of woke European bureaucracy and socialism and globalism, she announced that Europe's answer to the mass migration problem is to let in more migration, but this time it'll be legal. Look, we won't let them come over on boats now. We'll bring them in legally. And maybe if we bring them in legally, they won't have to come over on boats. And she said, we'll bring people in who can do jobs here in Europe where their skills are a good fit.
Again, if you didn't go bomb and strafe and steal all the natural resources from their land, they wouldn't need to have to go somewhere. So with that, you can go fuck yourself, devil, because you got to pay for these things. Shalom to the elect.